rushing water, bags of tackle, tying flies, casting over and over again.
It's an art form because it requires more finesse than normal fishing. It's the way you cast, the way you're interacting with the current, and the way you're following the fish.
These fishermen use hooks designed to mimic real flies. Caden makes his from hare's ears, or pheasant's tail.
Those replicate so many different bugs, from caddis larvae to stoneflies, for crying out loud. Like a hare's ear is perfect stonefly imitation.
Presentation-wise, has to be perfect like it naturally would if a fly was right on the surface or underneath the water. So that's where the difficulty of fly fishing comes in.
For them, it's about more than catching fish.
I see it as just a way to connect with nature more. I'm a big nature lover, and so I just love to be out in it.
And they're not alone.
The rivers might be a little bit more crowded, but I think it's an awesome thing.
There are more and more humans fishing on the Logan River, but one species isn't there anymore.
Pteronarcis californica
Commonly known as the salmon fly.
gets very large and establishes very large populations, so there's lots of food available for trout.
But salmon flies no longer hatch in Logan Canyon.
We don't have a time machine, so we can't go back and check about why the species disappeared from the Logan River. All we know is that it did.
There are different theories why.
Aerial spraying of pesticides, chemical spills are pandemics, but it's hard to imagine those hypotheses being correct, though, because other species survived just fine.
The Division of Wildlife Resources says the salmon fly extinction in the Logan River might be connected to salt, like the kind snowplows spread during the winter storm earlier this month. These salmon flies are growing to full size here in Blacksmith Fork Canyon, where there's less traffic, so there's a lower level of salt in the water.
Because of the year-to-year spreading of salt on the highway going up the Logan River, we could have lost this species.
Oh, this is a good one.
USU researchers test salmon flies' resilience to different levels of salt.
The salmon fly being in only really low salt streams, we would then wonder, is this fly intolerant to salt? Can it not live in streams of high salt, or is that just a coincidence?
It's a good one.
Researchers collect salmon flies from Blacksmith Fork.
If we're losing that species, maybe due to salt, maybe due to increasing temperature or pollution, we may be on our way to losing other individuals.
They're trying to see
How we can prevent the loss of even more species in the same ecosystem.
They're incredibly important as the base of the food web for aquatic systems.
Researchers say losing more species of flies would
Really impact trout population levels, and ultimately that ecosystem would probably start to degrade.
Insects, because of their dominance and because of their diversity, play an incredibly important role in supporting and sustaining natural ecosystems.
That's important to these guys, who depend on healthy river ecosystems.
Fly fishers, they catch and release. They care about the population of the river. They're very respectful to the river, and they're wanting to maintain the population so they could do it tomorrow.
It's my favorite pastime, and a lot of people are getting into it, and so I think it would be pretty sad to have that lose its luster.